The real measure of angling achievement is consistency, which in turn means having quality bait. The most consistent bait when it comes to the premier species such as cod, smoothhounds and bass has to be peeler crab.
So much so that some boat anglers, and particularly those fishing matches, would feel themselves at a distinct disadvantage if they didn't have crab on board. This is Highlander, a Warrior 175 run by Scottish international boat angler Mick Duff and his crewman John Greenwood, both members of World Boat Angling Club. Today, we're out on a pleasure trip on a chilly, gloomy day in June to take a look at what the outer Mersey has to offer over the summer months. The navigable channel into the Mersey is protected from sand encroachment on both sides by a retaining wall stretching seaward for around 8 miles. Not so much a wall in the building sense of the word, more a pile of boulders with bass feeding on or around it along its whole length, and rays, smoothhounds and school bass feeding over the banks butted up to it. Though the smoothhounds have only been visiting the area for the past couple of seasons, they are now a force to be reckoned with.
We use crab all the time, mainly for the bass and the smoothhounds. The biggest problem is actually collecting the crab. So what Mick and I do, we get tyres from the local ATS or tyre centre. We cut a hole in the side wall, 2 holes, carry them down to the water's edge, rope them all together, stake them down, and the crabs, they're quite vulnerable when they're peeling, so they climb inside the tyres, and we go down at low water and we put our hands in the tyres and get the crabs out, and we check them whether they're peeling or not, and we put them in the bucket, take them home. Usually we put them in the fridge, and 2 or 3 days before a match we'll bring them out and put them in about ½ an inch of salt water, and that usually brings them on to peel. There's a crab here now, and what we're looking for is the crab cracking down the side here. If you look there, if you just press in the side flap there, you can see it's cracking. When they start to crack like that, we put them back in the fridge, and that slows down the peeling rate. This is the next stage, what we're looking for. This is a perfect crab for bait, and that's how we do it basically. So we go and collect them, put them in the fridge, bring them on 2 or 3 days before we're due to use them, get them ready. They're really perfect for using it for baits at that.
Both Mick and John present their baits in different ways. After fully peeling the crab and removing the legs, John likes to cut his most of the way through, then lashes it onto the hook using elasticated thread. Mick, on the other hand, doesn't always bother with the thread, and sometimes doesn't bother to cut it either, and may even leave some of the legs in place as anchor points for a hook. But one thing they both do is to have a small free-sliding circle hook on the trace, which is slid right up to the bait. A couple of wraps of mono then holds it in place, after which it's nicked into the top of the crab. I was amazed at just how many of the fish came in held just by this small bonus hook. The boat is anchored a short distance up tide of the wall, then brought back on the rope to within bait lobbing range. Casting right into the thick of things where the fish are feeding can be costly in terms of terminal tackle, so Mick and John use homemade weights made from strips of lead flashing curled up like a Swiss roll. After a short spell on the wall at the river mouth, which produced just 1 bass, Mick then took the boat out onto the banks to show me what the open ground fishing would be like.
See what I mean? That little hook again. Little circle hook in the edge.
It's all go back. That's supposed to be. Yeah.
Get it down around the bar.
There you go.
For the final leg of the trip, we move right out to the widest part of the wall. A good move as it could turn out, as this mark produced both the best and the most fish.
Only on the little loop. There you go, Mick, look at that. See what I mean by that small hook? Yeah. Tiny little hook.
Tiny, tiny little bite then. Just took it.
Come in. Oh, not a bad one.
That's a good one.
Without crab on board, it's almost certain that most, if not all of the bass and smoothhounds caught on the day would not have seen the inside of the boat. When a crab comes too big for its shell, it grows a new soft leathery skin beneath the old outer shell, then it takes on water to split the seams either side just above the legs and around the back. It then climbs out, leaving the old empty shell behind. This is the only time a female can mate, and as soon as a new shell hardens, a large clump of fertilised eggs will be deposited beneath her under flap. To check if a crab is about to peel, break the tip segment off one of the legs. If a new soft leathery leg appears, pop the crab into the bait bucket. If, on the other hand, a short length of white sinew appears, the crab is not going through the peeling process, so let it go. Immediately a crab sheds its shell, it again takes on water to expand its body size by up to 30%. The new shell then progressively hardens over the next several days, during which time the crab is vulnerable to attack. Soft crabs also make excellent bait for smoothhounds and bass. Crab collecting involves a lot of hard work and input of time, and it isn't easy. But the best things in life seldom are, and as this short film hopefully shows, the rewards are there for all to see.
I'll show you this small hook. And we found it's worked quite well for us.